Caitlin Clark, what she's doing is amazing. And if I was going to drive from my place in Chicago to see an Iowa basketball team play, I'd drive to see the women, who I think are drawing about as many fans per game as the men in Iowa. But wouldn't you get in the car and ride with me to go see Caitlin Clark? Wouldn't that be worth it?
Absolutely.
She's fabulous to watch.
This segment of PTI started off well, but would only go downhill.
So I am probably speaking stupidity here when I say this, but it's based on at least reasonable thought. I think she should apply for a graduate year and play again. Because the pay cut she's going to have to take to go to the WNBA compared with the NIL
80%.
money. Mike, you're right. She fills that gym. I mean, her money is worth it and must be fabulous. And the WNBA can't give her that kind of money.
She and Angel Reese are must-see in person or on television. You want to see them play. And they got to take pay cuts next year. Big ones if they go to the league.
Lots to take it and fact check here. Allow me to say this, though. I love PTI. These two dudes are great at what they do. It was appointment television in the cable years. In addition, it's very hard to keep a show running for as long as they have. Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon deserve serious props. Now from journalist Nicole Auerbach, who works for The Athletic. She watched the clip play and would chime in on Twitter. I'm very tired of the idea that a massively marketable female athlete will not retain her lucrative marketing deals simply because she goes pro. Also, she doesn't need to apply for a graduate year. She has a year of eligibility remaining anyway. Bree Lewerke, who works at Spotify and has done freelance work for huge names: Nike, Sports Illustrated, Slam Magazine, Bleacher Report, Overtime, The W. You get the point. She wrote, Iowa women's basketball is selling out every home game. More than the men, not about as many as the men. Caitlin, secondly, will not take a massive pay cut in the WNBA. She will continue to have massive brand deals. Rosgold Amude, a co-worker of Wilbon and Kornheiser's at ESPN, also saw it and wrote, this is outdated discourse about the potential of the W to be fertile grounds for carrying over earning potential from NIL to professional. Smart money was in on women's sports some years ago. These are last to the party concepts. At the same time, the W teams and its media and business partners also have to continue to step up to nurture a marketing plan and audience that meets the moment and the transition from rabid college fan base to rabid W fan, loyalist, and consumer. Some will cling to ratings, so let's go over that. The women's college basketball final averaged 9.92 million viewers, peaking at 12.6 million. The most watched women's college basketball game to date. That's per ESPN in a write-up with Forbes. This past year's WNBA finals, which saw the New York Liberty win 3-1, averaged 889,000 viewers and peaked at 1.3 million. However, would some brands shy away from being added to Clark's portfolio because she's now a professional basketball player in the W? No. Out of anything, she would be adding more brand deals. That would be, to be clear, a deal the rights carrier would be going over for the WNBA finals. Okay? That would not be a Caitlin Clark thing. That would be an ESPN thing. Furthermore, on they're drawing as many fans as the men line, for the wins, Mitchell Northam wrote, Clark and her crew are drawing an average attendance of 14,998 fans per game, which leads the Big Ten by a margin of nearly 6,000. The Iowa men average 9,263 fans per game, which is 10th in the league. Currently, Caitlin Clark is endorsed by Gatorade, State Farm, Buick, Nike, Hy-Vee, Bose, and HR Block, just to name a few. They've totaled more than $790,000. She's also only one of 4 collegiate athletes to have the Gatorade stamp of approval. For the record, per Spotrac, Arika Ogunbowale of the Dallas Wings is the highest paid WNBA player at $241,984 a season. In the NBA, the average salary is $9.7 million, which, per Spotrac once more, is the highest average salary for any sport in the world. I understand that there is some confusion with NIL. Totally understandable. We get it. That sounded stupid. Are the WNBA salaries low? Yeah, they're very low. Like if Caitlin Clark were to declare and likely go to the Fever, she would make about $75,000 on her WNBA salary. And now you know why a lot of these players go abroad. You understand why Brittany Griner went to Russia. You understand why some go to Turkey, why some go to France. It's understandable. It's completely understandable. Diana Taurasi made millions, which puts a lot of stress on the body of an athlete to essentially play year round. There is not much of an off season. But to bring it back here, I have the ultimate respect for Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon. I loved watching the show. Whenever it's on, I'll put it on in the background while I'm working for you guys. But to say this is blissful ignorance. I'm glad some people are addressing it. Hopefully we have here. We could talk about it and hash it out more if there's any confusion in the comments section. But to say that she will not make as much and she should apply for a graduate year when really, I believe, as we already went over, she has another year of eligibility. Like, come on. How I view this is disrespect. Disrespect for the women's game, that they would not know any of this or come prepared.